Adiel Palma was born on March 6, 1986, in Santiago de Cuba, one of the most baseball-obsessed cities in Cuba, a place deeply steeped in the island's rich sports tradition. Raised in a family with a strong sports background, Palma was introduced to baseball at an early age. His father, a former amateur baseball player, encouraged him to pick up the sport, and by the time he was 5 years old, Adiel was already playing catch in the streets of Santiago. Growing up in a country where baseball is the national pastime, Palma was immersed in the sports culture. He spent much of his childhood watching local baseball games, idolizing players from the Cuban National Series, the country's top-tier baseball league. From an early age, Palma exhibited strong athleticism, particularly in his arm strength and hand-eye coordination. His talents did not go unnoticed, and by the time he was 12, he joined the Santiago de Cuba youth baseball team. Palma quickly became known for his powerful arm and ability to connect with the ball, showcasing a natural baseball IQ. At age 16, he joined the Santiago de Cuba professional baseball team, where his journey toward becoming one of Cuba's prominent baseball figures began. Professional career in Cuba. Emergence as a star. Palma's professional career began with the Santiago de Cuba team in the Cuban National Series, the premier baseball league on the island. He made his debut for the team at just 17 years old in 2003, immediately catching the eye of fans and coaches alike. His powerful bat and impressive outfield skills made him a versatile player who could fill multiple roles on the field. From the start, Palma's performance was exceptional. As a young player, he demonstrated a remarkable combination of power and speed, earning praise for his natural ability to hit for both average and power. By 2005, Palma had firmly established himself as a starting outfielder for Santiago de Cuba, and his performances began to earn him national recognition. His ability to produce clutch hits and perform well in high-pressure situations made him a fan favorite in Santiago and a key player on the team. During the early stages of his career, Palma's offensive stats were impressive, but it was his defense that truly set him apart. His ability to track fly balls, combined with a strong arm and quick reactions, made him a standout in the outfield. By 2007, Palma was not only a key player for Santiago de Cuba, but he was also a fixture in the Cuban national team, representing his country in various international competitions. Palma's time in the Cuban National Series was marked by both individual brilliance and team success. He played a pivotal role in helping Santiago de Cuba win multiple Cuban National Series titles, and his presence on the field helped elevate the team's performance year after year. Over the course of his career, Palma became known for his consistency and leadership, particularly during the crucial final games of the season. His performances were not just about raw talent, but also about his ability to step up when his team needed him most. Career peak. International success and recognition. Palma's peak years in Cuban baseball came in the late 2000s and early 2010s, when he was widely regarded as one of the best players in the Cuban National Series. His combination of power, speed, and defensive prowess made him one of the most complete players in the league. By 2010, Palma's offensive stats were some of the best in the league, as he posted consistently high batting averages, home run totals, and RBIs. His slugging percentage was one of the highest in the Cuban National Series, and he continued to show his power by hitting home runs in clutch situations. His success in the domestic league was paralleled by his success on the international stage. Palma played for the Cuban national team in several prestigious international competitions, including the World Baseball Classic, WBC, and the Pan American Games. In the 2009 World Baseball Classic, Palma was one of the standout performers, helping Cuba reach the finals of the tournament. His ability to handle the pressure of playing against some of the world's best baseball talent was evident, and his performance against top teams like the United States and Japan further solidified his reputation as one of the top players in the world. At the 2011 Pan American Games, Palma played a pivotal role in helping Cuba secure the gold medal. His leadership and ability to come through in the clutch were key factors in Cuba's success, and his defensive skills in the outfield were critical in securing important victories for the national team. The gold medal at the Pan American Games was just one of the many accolades Palma earned during this period, and it cemented his status as one of the best baseball players not just in Cuba, but in the international arena as well. Throughout this time, Palma was also recognized with numerous individual honors. he was named to the Cuban National Series All-Star team multiple times and earned Gold Gloves for his outstanding defensive play. His combination of offensive and defensive skills made him a well-rounded player, and his leadership both on and off the field made him a respected figure in the Cuban baseball community. Challenges and defection. Despite his incredible success in Cuba, Palma, like many other Cuban athletes, faced the limitations of the Cuban baseball system. The Cuban government's restrictions on athletes seeking opportunities abroad, particularly in Major League Baseball, MLB, prevented Palma from reaching the pinnacle of his career in terms of international exposure. Over time, Palma became frustrated with the lack of opportunities for Cuban players to showcase their talents globally. In 2013, Palma made the difficult decision to defect from Cuba. He left behind his home country, his family, and the life he knew in search of greater opportunities to play baseball. This decision was not an easy one, as defection carries significant risks for Cuban athletes, including the potential for family separation and personal hardship. However, for Palma, the desire to play at the highest level and achieve his dream of joining MLB became the driving force behind his decision. Palma's defection was not without its challenges. After leaving Cuba, he initially faced difficulties adjusting to life outside the island, including navigating the complexities of the international sports system. He eventually made his way to the United States, where he was scouted by MLB teams. Final years. Attempts in the MLB and beyond. Upon his defection, Palma signed with the Chicago White Sox in 2014, hoping to finally make his MLB debut. However, his transition to the American system was not as smooth as he had hoped. He spent several seasons in the White Sox's minor league system, working to adjust to the higher level of competition and the rigors of the MLB schedule. While he had some success in the minors, his dream of playing in Major League Baseball eluded him, as injuries and inconsistencies kept him from securing a spot on the MLB roster. Palma continued to play in the minor leagues for several more years, bouncing between various teams in the White Sox organization. Despite his efforts, he never made it to the MLB, and by 2017, it became apparent that his chances of making the big leagues were diminishing. After several seasons of frustration in the minor leagues, Palma decided to retire from professional baseball. Legacy and final reflections. While Palma's career in Major League Baseball did not come to fruition as he had hoped, his legacy in Cuban baseball remains significant. In Cuba, he is remembered as one of the country's most talented and versatile players of his generation. His time with the Cuban national team and his consistent performances in the Cuban National Series earned him a place among Cuba's baseball elite. Palma's combination of talent, work ethic, and leadership made him a beloved figure in Cuban baseball. His time with Santiago de Cuba and his international achievements on the World Baseball Classic and Pan American Games stages left an indelible mark on the sport. Even though his career outside of Cuba did not live up to expectations, Palma's place in the history of Cuban baseball remains assured, and his journey serves as a reminder of the challenges faced by Cuban athletes seeking opportunities beyond their homeland. In his retirement, Palma remains involved in the sport, occasionally making appearances in local leagues and serving as a mentor to younger players. His story continues to inspire those who dream of following in his footsteps and represents the hopes and struggles of many Cuban athletes who seek to take their talents to the global stage.